Chapter 2: The Serpent in the Forest continued. The road leading into the valley was warm with life. Lanterns hung from wooden posts along the path, casting soft golden circles of light across the ground. Travelers moved between the buildings with relaxed laughter, their voices mixing with the music drifting from the guild hall near the center of the town. Valmere slowed his horse. He observed everything. The houses were well built. The streets were clean. The people moved without fear. This was no struggling village. This was a place that I thrived. A large wooden building stood at the heart of the square, its windows glowing brightly. A painted sign swung gently above the entrance, the mark of the town's traveler guild. Without hesitation, Valmere dismounted and handed his reins to one of his soldiers. "Wait outside," he ordered quietly. The door opened with a low creak as he stepped inside. Warmth immediately surrounded him. The guild hall was alive with movement. Long wooden tables were filled with merchants, adventurers, farmers, and travelers who had come to rest for the night. Plates of fresh food covered the tables, and the air carried the rich scent of roasted meat and baked bread. At the far side of the hall stood shelves filled with bottles of deep red and golden liquid wine. But not ordinary wine. A server approached him politely. "Welcome, traveler," the man said. "You look like you've come a long way. Would you like to try Valmere's special reserve?" Valmere raised an eyebrow slightly. "Special reserve?" The man smiled proudly as he poured a dark red drink into a glass. "Our valley grows grapes you will not find anywhere else. Every bottle is made by hand." Valmere lifted the glass slowly. The scent alone was different. Richer. Deeper. He took a sip. For a brief moment the room around him disappeared. The taste was smooth but powerful, warm as fire yet soft as velvet. Valmere lowered the glass slowly. For the first time that evening, a smile touched his lips. "I have traveled through many kingdoms," he said quietly, "but I have never tasted anything like this." The server chuckled proudly. "That's what travelers always say." Valmere looked around the hall again. Music played softly in one corner where few villagers laughed together. Others spoke about trade routes, harvests, and adventures. This town was not only wealthy, it was confident, alive. Then something caught his attention. Near the far side of the hall, a small group of children ran past one of the tables, laughing loudly. Behind them walked a young woman. She moved calmly through the room, stopping briefly to speak with a merchant before helping one of the servers carry a tray of food. Her presence changed the atmosphere around her. People greeted her warmly. Some nodded with respect. Others smiled as if they were greeting family. Valmere watched her carefully. She spoke to an elderly farmer who looked troubled. Her voice was calm but firm as she listened to him and answered with quiet reassurance. The farmer's worried expression slowly softened. Then the young woman smiled gently and continued across the hall. Valmere did not yet know her name, but something about her presence lingered in the room long after she passed. He took another slow sip of the wine. Then he stood and walked toward the doorway. Outside, the night air was cool and clear. From the hill above the town he could see the valley stretching into the darkness. Vineyards rolled across the hills like waves beneath the moonlight. Fields of crops spread across the land. Lanterns glowed warmly from homes where families still spoke and laughed together. Valmere stood there silently for a long moment. Then he lifted the wine glass once more. His voice was almost a whisper. "A land this rich," he murmured, "should belong to a king." The wind moved gently across the valley. But the peaceful town below did not yet know what had entered its borders that night. For in the quiet darkness of the forest, the serpent had already begun to coil.